Default external microphone. Okay. Now we should have sound, and now we should be live. I think. Maybe. Uh, delete forever. Yes. Delete forever. Ooh. Live viewers 3. Hello, people. Hey, Nikhil muted. I hope that's not the case. Oh, I hear him now. There we go. There we go. Oh. God. This going live on YouTube used to be so easy, and it's become such a pain in the butt. I don't know what happened to OBS or my OBS, but I have to log in like 4 different times just for this to like consider working. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, that's handy. Okay. 3 whole people. Wow. Hey, it's better than nothing. And nothing was what we were at for a while. So, new background is awesome. Thank you. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress right now, but we got the movies. I'm going to have a shelf that has some of that stuff on it. And then I got all these new posters and stuff that's going to go on the wall. Woo, finally got the chat to work. Let's go. We got 26 concurrent people. It's so funny. When I started on YouTube, I was like, wow, going live is so much easier than on TikTok. I just hit this button, and here I am, going live, chatting with all these people. And I could game. I could go on the computer. I played like Sporkle and shit. And then it decided to never be that convenient again. Ever. Also, I gotta be fully real with you guys. I didn't have a ton of time to set up because my room's in shambles and you can't see that the ground is covered in posters. But this is kind of a sick view. I don't even have a lighting setup going. It's just the sun. But this is like, if I could get my videos to look like this would be pretty good. What do you all think of this? Imagine this has posters. What do you think of this as the background? It's pretty sweet. I guess it would need to be a little more straight on. So it'd be more like that. I think that works. All right. Chill vibe stream exploding consistently. What does that mean? What's your favorite thing you have in the background? Not up yet, but I will show you. First of all, my goal is to next Comic-Con actually buy one of those giant like X-Men things, you know, where they're like fighting the Sentinel or like Gambit on his like tower of cards. Unfortunately, they're all like exclusive, so I can't buy the ones I've ever seen before, which makes me sad. But I'm sure they'll have something fun, and that's what I want to buy at the next Comic-Con I go to. So that's going to go on the shelf, and that will be the answer. But right now, this is my favorite thing that's going up. Look how sick this is. It's going to go right there. Rare full body shot of me. Wait. We also have the toad. That's going to be fun. I hope to get little mementos for everything that I react to. I don't know if it will always be a poster because I don't have that much room, but I hope to always get a memento, and this will be for Evolution. Yeah. What else we got? I have Gambit. I kind of want to replace that Gambit because I don't love it. But if I can get a really good Gambit artwork, it'll go center stage as well. Yeah. I broke something last night, which made me sad. A Hundreds of Beavers poster that would have been on my top. First thing here, what's the camera looking thing there? That is an old-timey projector. I can't plug it in anymore because it will light on fire. Like literal flames will shoot out of it. But it's a projector. You'd put the tape, or the film strip rather, in those things, and it would cycle, and then it would project. Does everything you react to count Generation X and Hulk versus? Probably not. Just stuff that like becomes a series, because I did Evolution for 3 months. I'm going to do Teen Titans for 6 months. Anything that's that big of a part of my life will be getting a memento. So question for you. For each of the Teen Titans, what level of teenager do you feel like they are from 13 to 19? I've been told Beast Boy's 10. That's stupid. That's an insane thing if true. I would feel... I guess the real way to do this is to say oldest to youngest. I feel like... honestly, they all just kind of vibe like 14, 15 to me. None of them are feeling like upper teens. Starfire would be the only one, just because she seems to be more independent. Like, she seems to have had a life between childhood and now. No one else really does. Raven and Beast Boy feel the youngest. Cyborg and Robin, I'd put both at around 14, 15, and maybe Star is 16. That's what I would say. Beast Boy is not 10. What? I was told he was 10. I made fun of him in a video, and everyone was like, don't you know he's 10? I will say this. I think, in general, partially because the characters are so much older, but, like, in general, DC, a lot less consistent and a lot less uniform than Marvel. And it's been very funny dabbling in it, even when I did, like, Adams and Gotham, because so many people have so many specific reads of these characters that no one else has. And I made a comment. I was like, oh, is Beast Boy furry like Nightcrawler? And all of the comments on that TikTok were either people going, obviously he's furry, or obviously he's not furry. And it's very funny to me that so many people think it's very clear that that both of those things are true. I've been looking back through Titans villains, and man, it really is a bunch of Z-list villains or Titan-specific rogues with zero crossover to other DC properties. That's gonna happen. Like, when you have characters that need to hold their own books for decades, you're gonna get a lot of villains that only fuck with those characters. You see it with the X-Men, too. Like, the X-Men have X-Men villains. You don't often see Spider-Man fight Mr. Sinister because he's got his own guy named the Jackal. Sometimes they team up like one time, but you know what I mean. Did you consider watching Young Justice? I've considered it. I've seen the first few episodes. I like that Aqualad a lot. Which Robin do you think it is? It's very clearly Tim. I don't know why people keep telling me it's Dick. Just got here. Sorry if this was already asked. Do you have any plans to eventually do Young Justice? It is, at this point, the front runner to follow Teen Titans, I will say. We wait 6 months, and if everyone's still digging Teen Titans, we can do Young Justice. Hey, Nick, sorry to hear this, but Robin's name is Dick Grayson and not Tim Drake. Well, that's a matter of opinion until they say it in the damn show. This was the thing. Everyone keeps being like, oh, it gets confirmed later. Well, I'm not later, am I? I'm now. And now he looks like Tim. I forget I was watching something in English and I wrote in Spanish anyway. You should react to Planet Hulk. I was going to say I did. I didn't do that. I do plan to. What's funny to me is I thought the Lionsgate movies were solely Hulk versus Next Avengers and Planet Hulk. And I was like, I don't know when I'm going to react to Planet Hulk, but I'll do it down the line. I kind of, in my brain, thought Hulk versus Thor was Planet Hulk. I was waiting for Beta Ray Bill to show up, and then I was like, you know what, this is going to be a different movie. But then I learned that there's like a Doctor Strange one, there's an Iron Man one, there's the Ultimates. I didn't know any of that shit. So I could have done like a whole series of these. My bad. Next time, we'll have another break when Wolverine the X-Men wraps, because Wolverine the X-Men's only going to be 12 Reacts episodes. And then maybe I'll do Planet Hulk or something. And then we'll go into X-Men the anime. The only argument I can see for not furry Beast Boy is that they drew a definitive hairline, but that's also just DC art style, so he still might have a lot of fuzz. I mean, the argument is that he could just have green skin. And I'd argue 90% of Beast Boy illustrations I've ever seen, he's clearly just got green skin. Like, it's like how Nightcrawler is also, like, fuzzy, but, like, they just draw him as if his skin is blue. You never really see the texture of the hair. Who's scarier to you personally? Nick, Red Hulk, or Nick as in me, or Nick as in Fury? Red Hulk or symbiote Spider-Man that's severely pissed off? Probably Red Hulk. Like, if I came across Black Suit Spider-Man or the Red Hulk in an alley somewhere, I'd be more alarmed by Red Hulk, for sure. I think I'd probably get less hurt because you didn't specify that Red Hulk was upset, so he could just, like, walk by me. But in a real situation, I think I would be more scared of the giant red gamma heat wave emitting Hulk. Also, this is a personal fan theory. It's not canon at all. But Kraven the Hunter did canonically wear the black suit for 2 weeks and fucked up a whole bunch of people, killed criminals, put many of them in hospitals. And it's my headcanon that is why the black suit era has such a reputation in universe as it does. Because Venom, like, actual Black Suit Spidey doesn't do anything crazy because he's still Spidey. Like, they had to sell the books, you know? And so I think the idea of, like, oh yeah, Black Suit Spider-Man, guys, wasn't that crazy in universe, is people remembering Kraven. Because they don't know. They don't know that it was Kraven for 2 weeks when he was just throwing people into walls and killing them. But yeah, that's my belief. I want a new X-Men cartoon instead of just more season of 97. I like 97, but I feel like we need to start fresh. What do you think? I agreed until 97 came out. 97 was so divorced from the X-Men the Animated Series show. It is essentially just a brand new adaptation from the comics. To the point of straight up ignoring things the other show set up, like Kurt being a weird monk who doesn't know the X-Men. Now he's just a swashbuckling fun guy who's Rogue's brother. Great. Never once mentioned in the original show. And I think that's fine. I agree. Like, I would love if they were just like, here's the new X-Men cartoon. But they don't do that anymore. So if we have to call it 97, call it 97. But I tell everybody, you do not need to watch the original series to get into 97 because it truly is unrelated. I actually got an epic collection of Kraven Says Hunt for Christmas this year. Me too. Me too. They must have just reprinted it. I got it. My lovely fiance gave it to me for Christmas this year. Could you play Dispatch on the channel? I don't really have time to game live. First of all, I can barely make YouTube lives work anymore, as is, as shown by my technical difficulties today. But, so I feel like trying to work in a game at the same time is going to really crash my computer out. But, we'll see. I will say, once the Wolverine game comes out, I will try. We'll do at least some. Maybe one day I'll get my Cyclops solo show. I mean, no disrespect to you, but that sounds so butt. Cyclops, in general, I don't think the X-Men should have solo projects. In comics is one thing, in video games is also fine, but we don't have the real estate for a bunch of movies and shows. You know, like, we're going to get maybe like tops 10 of everything. And I would rather get the different teams. I think the X-Men work best as an ensemble. So give me like an X-Men show. Give me an X-Force show. Give me the Excalibur. I'd love any of that. But wasting it on one solo outing for one character? Shit. But of all of them, Cyclops, the most, is an ensemble character. Cyclops is a great leader of the X-Men. He's a great leader of X-Factor. He's even a great, like, grumpy side character in Wolverine and the X-Men. I do not need to ever see Cyclops divorced from the X-Men. I think he loses his purpose. Like, him on an adventure alone in Alaska is fine. He should be trying to get back to the X-Men. The one episode of X-Men Evolution where it's Cyclops alone through the desert, great, as a one-off episode. If that was an entire season, I would have gotten annoyed very fast. Did you see the latest X-Men Doomsday trailer? Cyclops finally got his justice. I mentioned this on the TikTok live I did before. I don't care. Doomsday, already I am annoyed by how nostalgic baiting it is, but I also don't like the Fox movies that much, so it's not like nostalgia baiting me, you know? And yeah, maybe it's a completely different version of Cyclops, and this time James Marsden will be interesting, but like, I don't think that doing a power feat is giving a character justice in general. I'm not someone who really goes in for the hype. Like, whenever there's like a moment where everyone's like, oh, that was so hype, usually it's just like, I can acknowledge it's cool mentally, but it doesn't like get me riled in the same way. Honestly, I wish you got a cool school sitcom of X-Men students with 50 episodes. That would be fun, right? You could do like 52 episodes maybe across 4 seasons and show them like slowly go from like the mutants not being a known factor to being a known factor and watch how mutant phobia develops. It could be a neat show. You could call it X-Men Evolution. Did Spider-Man and Hulk fight like ever? Yes, they have fought before. Teen Titans? Love Teen Titans. Well, actually, I'm warming up to Teen Titans. So Raven actually does have a grandfather, the Great Darkness, aka the universe before the Presence turned the lights on. It also means that Darkseid is her uncle. Wait, so Darkseid is brothers with the concept of darkness? That's actually more shocking than anything you've said to me so far. I understand how, like, the Great Darkness, universe before light, births demon Trigon. That part I'm following. Is brothers with Darkseid is very strange to me. Oh, no, wait. I did the math wrong. That would be if he was her grunkle. Darkseid is Trigon's brother, is what you're saying to me. They're both birthed out of the darkness. That makes sense. That I can see. Okay. Back on board. Understanding. Did you know that Beast Boy gets his powers from the same force as Man-Bat, the Red, which is the unit? I knew that Beast Boy got his powers from the Red. I did not know Man-Bat did. Is Man-Bat not just a Jekyll and Hyde or the Fly bit? Like, he's a scientist who turned himself into a bat. He's the lizard, but a bat. Right? Is Static Shock on the docket for reactions? It's one of the options. It's a potential to follow the DC, follow Teen Titans. We will see. Darkseid is weird because he's a cool god alien on the surface, but weird eldritch god when you dig deeper. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Isn't there a deep eldritch god inside of us? It's like they say, there's two eldritch gods inside of every person. One is the eldritch god of light, and one is the eldritch god of darkness. Which one wins? The one you feed. Wait, there's two Trigons? I don't know. I know one Trigon. I deserve points for knowing Trigon at all. I think it might be good to do Teen Titans Go in parallel with Teen Titans. They have extremely different vibes, and it's rather divisive. Teen Titans Go is a challenge. Because I would, obviously that's the natural follow-up to Teen Titans, but it's so long. There's so many Teen Titans Go episodes, and it's so stupid. And I don't know how much I can react to the stupid, you know? I like some of it. Teen Titans Go to the movies, I think is genuinely a very fun film. I enjoy that movie a lot. But, it's a lot of stupid. I give you 15 points for knowing Trigon. Thank you. Who did more for the X-Men, Morrison or Claremont? Claremont, and it's not close. The X-Men exist because of Claremont. All popular X-Men characters, with very few exceptions, were created by Claremont. All popular X-Men stories are helmed by Claremont. Directly inspired by. Morrison, one of Morrison's big accomplishments is the revitalization of Emma Frost. The person who created Emma Frost is Claremont. Nobody will ever do what Claremont did. There's something I really like. Gail Simone tweeted once, because she's writing Uncanny X-Men right now, and she got renewed or whatever. And someone asked her, would you, how long would you stay on this book if you were allowed? And she said she would write up until one less issue of Claremont's, so that Claremont stayed the most prolific X-Men writer. And I think that's just what you have. He's such an icon in this very specific space that you really can't battle it. He wrote these books for 16 years. Real life years. It is crazy. I think you would like Timeless Tony Storm. I didn't add for Timeless Tony Storm. I think. That's the wrestler, right? Guys, I really didn't like Mojo's voice in the 90s show in 97. Way too high pitched. I like his voice in one of the X-Men more. Oh, I agree. I think 97's Mojo episode is a distinct low point. And it's weird that it's shared with Life Death, which is a high point. Just cut it. Favorite stupid one-off comics character has literally never returned. It's not technically a one-off. He's in 2 comics ever. Is Henry Lmao, Gambit's brother. And I love him for a couple of reasons. One, his first appearance, he dies in the 3rd page. His second ever appearance is in a flashback. But it's essentially they gave Gambit the Loki origin, but it worked out. Because Henry is Jean-Luc's biological son, his real son, who is set to inherit the Thieves Guild. Oh, sorry, I'm getting texted. He was set to inherit the Thieves Guild and is going to be. They aren't kings back then. They weren't. Jean-Luc was never called king of the Thieves Guild. That's a whole other thing. But you know what I mean. He's set to inherit the New Orleans Guild. And he dies, tragically, in his first appearance in any comic ever. Killed by an assassin on page 3 of the first ever Gambit solo. And so Gambit is just the only heir to the Thieves Guild from that point on. And it's really funny to me. He's the adopted son or whatever. They're all mad at that it's going to be him. He's not the real Lmao. But Henry's dead. It's just as if Thor had died. Unrelatedly. Who's your favorite Marvel hero? Mine is Spider-Man. Mine is Gambit up there. I guess this is the one thing with this view. I really like this view, but you can't really see Gambit, can you? And I'm going to have all my fun artwork on the top row. How disappointing. Can I... Oh, I can't really scoot it back. But if I scooted it back a little, you could see it. Or... Wait. What if... Okay, what if I did my reactions from down here? What if this is how I reacted to things? Just so you could really appreciate the background. How do we feel about that? So like imagine, like it's me like watching something right now, like I'm watching it, and then I'm talking to you. But then you get to see the art. That's pretty good in my opinion. Wait, hold on. No, this is the height of this chair. This is as tall as we get. Since you aren't the most well-versed in DC stuff, have you heard of the podcast Battle Seasons? Oh, Battlesons. They go through Batman's history from Golden Age on. I think you'd enjoy it. I have not heard of that. A lot of negative space, to be honest. Well, that's because it's not done yet. Imagine this is full of posters. Is it better then? Not a good angle. See, I disagree. I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is peak. This is goals. Like, also look at my tiny little Lego ship. I got to make the rest of it still. We watched the actions for you more than your decor, although we love the decor. But what's really more impressive? Me or all the cool shit I own? This is too low. I don't know how that happened. Okay. Well, no, this is still pretty high. Look at the door for a second. Alright. Why is it still so high? This is supposed to be uniform. Okay. How's this? This could work. Get a little more negative space in there. We could do this. I am using my phone right now, which is also like not the camera I'm going to use. But maybe it should be because I still hate my video quality. I really do. I am constantly... My video camera quality looks like ass. And I don't know why. I like to maybe get a cushion or something so you are a little more center. I have a cushion. Wait, babe. Can you give me the TikTok cushion? We'll see if I can get a cushion. The TikTok cushion. It should be like out there somewhere. Oh, no, it's... Oh, thank you. Throw it to me. Thank you. All right, guys. This is going to be it. This is what we need. I think that's clutch. I think we got it. Whoever suggested the cushion, you're the king of things. And now, little inside joke for anyone who sees this specific after show. If you see this angle, you will know that I am sitting in a booster seat because I'm a small man. Which is your favorite, less notable X-Men story or event that no one really cares about? Mutant Massacre. I don't know if like is that popular outside of X-Men circles because it's not the name of a movie yet, but that's my favorite. And God Loves Man Kills, but that's X2, and everyone loves X2. What is your favorite game? Lego Marvel Superheroes. Best video game ever made. TikTok cushion. Yes, okay, we'll get smaller for a second. So it's hard sometimes to talk without sounding like I'm bragging, and I need y'all to know that I'm still a down-to-earth man. However, TikTok invited a lot of influencers to a Lakers game one time, and we got a special box that was like the TikTok box, and it was populated with these cushions that were supposed to be like in the back. And then I took one of them because I was like, this would make a wonderful booster seat, and I was so correct. Thoughts on the Lego Batman movie? Love the Lego Batman movie. Big fan of the Lego Batman movie. Mutant Massacre is peak because the Power Pack are in it. True, and they have low-key the best issues. Sport? Oh, basketball. It didn't occur to me people wouldn't know who the Lakers were. Basketball. Personal thoughts on Tom King's writing. Just started a Supergirl run and love the Mr. Miracle story. I've not read a ton. I have a ton of it. But I do love what I've read. I've met him a few times. Going to conventions like shortly after COVID was really funny because you had to be masked and stuff, but no one went, and so you just like had these big creators that had no one at their table, and you could just chat them up, and that's when I started going to conventions. And so I didn't realize that wasn't normal. So I spent a lot of time talking to like Tom King and Brian K. Vaughan and shit at my first ever convention. And then I was like, this is amazing. No wonder people go to these. And now I go to them and it's like 5 million people in one room and you have to wait in a long line to say hello while they sign something. And I'm like, damn, I should have taken more advantage of this when I had it. Is that Dupe on the left? And also, is he just a gag character or what is he? It is Dupe on the left, and he is primarily a gag character. The whole joke of Dupe is that he's a little green lima bean who's insanely powerful, and he speaks in a fake language. And that's all you need. He's kind of like Deadpool. Like, it's a Deadpool vibe of, like, can do anything, basically. Breaks the fourth wall, that kind of shit. But, like, in a little goober. What's your favorite non-comic book? Les Miserables. It's not in here because it's not nerdy, but I have a very fancy copy of Les Miserables, and I've read it like twice, and I love it. You're pretty impressive, especially your novelty shirts. Thank you. I get so much mileage out of these shirts and jackets now that I do this. It's very helpful. I have nowhere else to really wear half of this shit, but you can't just go to the bank in some of these outfits, but it's fun to make videos in them. Favorite Addams Family character? Mine is Pugsley or Uncle Fester. Simply because of my series and it was so fun to make. Probably Gomez. There are a surprising number of Les Mis anime. I've heard this. I've looked into the Les Mis adaptations. I think like anything, the more you like the source material, the worse you like anything that is based on it. So I read Les Mis the first time because Les Mis the musical has been my favorite musical my whole life. And it came to LA. I was so excited to see it. I paid, honestly, a stupid amount of money for not that good of seats, but I just wanted to watch it. Ow. Oh, watch out. This is my Les Mis book. My fiance is playing Gopher for me right now. Very nicely. Oh, you want it back? Okay. Thank you. But yeah, so I read Les Mis so that I would be ready for the play, and then I was watching the play and I was like, it's not as good as the book. Is it an insult to say you could probably be a teenage Gomez? No, and it's true. And you know what, Tim Burton, if you're out there, I don't know if we're continuing the Wednesday series, but you need a flashback, hire me. I'm not Mexican, but I think I could pass for teenage Luis Guzman. Just put me in, coach. Have you read the DC Marvel crossover fanfic? Not the fanfic, no. So glad the Power Scalers have never discovered Dupe. A lot of them are so literate to actually read the comics. I don't think, in general, Power Scalers get into the gag characters. Like, I know they have a weird hatred of Squirrel Girl. So I made a video once with a whole joke, was that Squirrel Girl is called the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. And so I was like, oh, you can't put her into rivals because she'll always win. She's unbeatable. Purely a gag. Not even really touching on the fact that, like, they do play into that gag in the comics and have her, like, beat Doom and shit. Just, like, a joke about the name. And so many people got mad at me. And we're like, no, Squirrel Girl is a stupid character, blah, blah, blah. And those feats don't count. And I was like, whoa. Calm down. So I don't think they'd like Dupe. Now, he's not a woman, so they might be more invested. I don't know. He might be a woman, but he's a lima bean. But yeah, I don't think they get into the gag characters. A lot of Marvel characters have bestowable powers. So my question, which character power combo would you be the most awesome? Mjolnir, Spider-Man, Gambit with a Stark suit, or Symbiote Spider-Girl? We've seen Gambit with a Stark suit. It's not really that impressive. Mjolnir Spider-Man is hard to beat. I think give Spidey Mjolnir and you're cooking. You're doing something good with it. Mumbo was an original for the show, but he was mainly based on the Flash villain Abracadabra. Well, maybe I'll have to look into Abracadabra then, because I really liked Mumbo. I was sad to hear he is a show original, because he's fun. Honestly, I think Les Mis is better the more you consume, and I say that as someone who played the fighting game. I gotta play the fighting game one day. Have you heard about people freaking out at the Lodi Loki skin in Marvels? I've heard the extreme cope of people thinking it's a Hela skin. Why? Why would it be? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. I was like, it's a Hela skin. Because ignore that the insignia is Loki and that she says she's Loki and that she has the same voice lines in a different voice as Loki. It's Hela because boobs. What? Some Marvel fans would take any excuse to hate on a character that's a woman and or POC. Facts. Thoughts on Marvel 1602? I like the interpretation of the X-Men. I liked Marvel 1602. That's one of like the first trades I ever read. And it was fun. Dick Grayson also had Tim's suit from the comics in Batman the Animated Series, and I didn't even know Tim was in Batman, or Dick was in Batman the Animated Series. And under the Red Hood, Jason has Tim's 1 year later suit. They just give Tim suits to all the Robins because he has the best suits. They give Tim to all the Robins because I've talked about this before. Tim is the Robin people think of. They think they're thinking of Dick, but they're not. Everyone nowadays, maybe back in the 80s it was different. Everyone nowadays, when they think of Robin, are thinking of Tim. Favorite characters to play in Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Have not played it. If Xavier was in season 2 of Wednesday, and if they decided to do the romance thing again, like with Tyler, would he be a good boyfriend for Wednesday? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't watch the Wednesday show. I heard it was bad, and that made me sad. Hey, Nikhil, very dumb question. Assuming the best possible effort, no anxiety or side effects, what do you think would happen if Banner got super high? I think he'd just be chilling. I think high is fine. Like, I think he would just be Banner. You could probably get away with more if he was high. You know, a little less prone to anger. I think something that didn't really click for me, too, until I watched Next Avengers, is that Bruce, like, part of Bruce's character is I think he's disproportionately prone to anger. Because he has to, like, go meditate in the desert so he doesn't fly into a rage. That's not the case for most people. And it makes sense for him, like with his childhood and his father and everything like that. I get that he is like, has anger issues in general, that the Hulk then uses to manifest. But like if you gave a normal-ish person Hulk issues, like how often in your life, if you're over the age of 19 or 20, like when you're a teenager, the hormones, I think, work out similarly. But how often since you turned 20 have you felt violent bloodlust rage? It should be a low number. That should not be a very common occurrence in your life. And you should not have to, you should be able to interact in society without feeling it. And so I do think that's kind of like the She-Hulk of it all, right? Like it's like sometimes you just give it to a regular person. It's not going to be as big of a problem. Are you going to do the X-Men anime after Wolverine the X-Men? Yes. Kind of a weird question, but what if Robin was just a mini Batman? Like when he first came out, he was just a kid version of the Batsuit and call it Bat Kid or something. Shocking he wasn't like that, to be honest. I think giving him a distinct outfit and personality is what let the character live on for almost 100 years. But yeah, I mean, it was just as likely they called him Bat Kid. Thoughts on the Age of Revelation event. I have not read it. I just bought it all. It's in one of the boxes that's slightly off screen. So I will be reading it, but I have not yet. Been reading the X-Men comics lately. Was Beast always a bad guy or just an asshole? He starts out as just an asshole, and then he slowly descends into full-on supervillain. And by slowly, I mean it takes like 30 years. But if you want to see a cool video by this amazing creator named Nikhil Clayton, you can Google Nikhil Clayton, what the fuck happened to Beast? It should show up, and I talk about it all. I always struggle with Hulk comics because I just don't love characters whose whole thing is that they don't want to be the character I want to read about. See, it helps for me because I find Banner more interesting most of the time. Sometimes it's like Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes where Banner is like nothing. Like he's just like a guy sitting on a boat going, meow, meow. But when he's like a true character, I think Hulk as a curse is a more interesting premise than sometimes Hulk turns into a boring man. And I think a lot of adaptations want to do, sometimes, not even adaptations, a lot of comics are more interested in Hulk is cool, and his biggest limitations is sometimes he's this boring guy instead. But when you flip it and you put the agency in Banner, that is more interesting to me. But I can see the annoyance of when he's Hulk is the cool part. And so why are you reading about the boring man? Do you think the X-Men movie should continue making Bobby one of the next generation or bring him back as an original member? I think there's no way to ever fully present the first class and that's as satisfying, because I think a movie that's about the first class would suck butt. And so, like, I think you need the fun characters. You need your Storms and Nightcrawlers and shit. Wolverine. So I don't know. I think keeping Bobby as a kid is fine. It's a little funny that, like, him and Cyclops are never peers in anything. And, like, they're just the same age. I think Bobby's, like, a year or two younger, but in Marvel time, what does that mean? But, yeah. Also, I think it helps with his relationships. He has a lot of relationships with younger people. I assume if they ever did put him into a movie or something again, he would be gay from the outset, which would be different. But, like, if you want to have him dating Kitty, he needs to be a little younger. I will say, I want Kitty to be part of the next generation. I don't like when they present Kitty as just a normal member of the X-Men. Kind of like Wolverine in the X-Men. I don't like that. Like, she should be the youngest. The dynamic of Hulk I most like is the exploration of plurality. His arc in the MCU and his reaction to She-Hulk not having an alter just touched my heart. Yeah, I think I liked all that too. This is what people hated on She-Hulk, and I think it was overall kind of stupid to hate on it because it was just a different vibe of show. But it's also like, people hated that scene specifically where she's like, yeah, this isn't as hard for me as it is for you. And I don't get why. Because, like, it isn't. Like, that's just the core of the character. And it's a little tragic that it's easier for her than it is for him. But that's, like, part of what makes Hulk so sad. How many mutants do you think whose power is just my hair is white and I don't need to sleep? A lot. Like, canonically, like 70% of mutant kind. But we focus on the 30%. I mean, making Bobby younger makes sense. Even when the X-Men were first introduced, he was treated like the younger brother. Yeah, he's always the youngest. Like, he's not like the kid on the X-Men that Kitty Pryde would become, but he is meant to be the youngest of the 05. And so, like, it does work. In any adaptation where you're not starting with the original class, it makes sense to include him as a younger character. It is just funny because his, like, core relationship, I would argue, for the first 20-ish years of his publication is with Beast and Angel, and he's literally never talks to them in any adaptation. Like, he's just not their friend. It was cute in the one Evolution episode where he was, like, actually joking around with Beast, even though Beast was his teacher. Like, but that was, like, the closest we've ever come to that bromance on screen. He's the Flash of the Justice League of the Mutants. Is Flash supposed to be younger than the rest of the Justice League? I didn't know that. If a bald guy got regeneration powers, would his hair grow back? Technically, I'm not a scientist. In fact, I'm very stupid, so don't take anything I say as assurances. But to my understanding, isn't hair dead skin? So wouldn't a regenerative person naturally be bald? Like, if none of your cells die, I think this, like, breaks down anything, right? Like, the whole thing of, like, oh, all of your cells replace every 7 years, like, it takes 7 years for you to have a brand new body or some shit, whatever that is. Wouldn't that not happen to Wolverine too? Like, so what is Wolverine working with the same cells he had in 1802? Like, I don't know. What's going down in the mitosis is not for me to know. Wally West is, of course, the youngest. That does make sense, obviously. I think you're mistaking hair with dust. That is a funny sentence, but not necessarily untrue. Is hair not dead skin? I thought that's what hair was. Is hair... I'm not sharing my screen for this. Yes, the visible part of your hair is made of dead cells filled with protein keratin. Ha! Ha ha ha! I know some things. Logan versus Spider-Man. Who wins? Probably Spider-Man, but Logan's more fun. Name your favorite X-Men comic artist. Working? Rodrise. Hair is not dead skin. Argue with Google, man. Argue with Google. Hair is primarily made of dead protein-filled cells called, or keratin's the protein, that form the visible shaft, while the living part is the follicle beneath the skin, continuously pushing up new cells. But dead skin cells on the scalp can build up, causing flakes, which can be managed with proper washing, exfoliation, or specific rinses to maintain scalp health. I don't know what you guys want me to tell you. I'm right about things sometimes. That's just life. Dead cells doesn't mean skin. Well, to be fair, I just was talking about the fact it was dead to begin with. Like, in general, I meant cells. I was trying to be overly specific. But either way, if you're regenerating your cells, I don't see how they're dying. Well, yo, what's up? Just finished your latest vid. Thank you. I hope you liked it. How long have we been live? Does it tell me? Does it show me? No. I feel like it used to show me, but now it doesn't show me. Oh, 41 minutes. Okay. Also, I'm plugged into the Ethernet now, so maybe that's why we're having a little more, what do you call it? Less glitches. Did you see Lady Loki Marvel Rivals? I did. How can someone defeat Wolverine? He's immortal right now. I mean, were we doing a fight to the death? Also, like, Wolverine's immortal. He also dies all the time. He died like 8 times in Krakoa. According to my YouTube under the video where the description is. According to my YouTube under the video where the description. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. We have 0 dropped frames. So many posts with dead cells in conditioning me to replay the old game. Oh, Dead Cell? Is that a game? You should play it. Tell me how it is. Anyway, for all the new people who are here, because we now have like 200 people in here. The lives get biggest when I'm about to leave. But we have like 200 people in here. And for those who don't know, I'm building a new thing, a new wall. I will say, disappointingly, the space between the bookshelves is more apparent than I assumed it would be. I kind of thought that you wouldn't even be able to see the movies. That it would be like everything just above. And it might be when I'm like filming here and I'll move everything forward. So that might still be the case. But I kind of like seeing the movies. So maybe I just need to find something to put between the bookshelves. Any chance you could review Batman Ninja for April Fools? The Robins become the TMNT. And yes, Damian becomes Mikey. Also putting the Batfan. Is this a comic or a show? If it's a show, for sure. If it's a comic, it becomes harder because I have to read it. And then, making graphics of comic panels is the thing that takes me the most time in this world. How much power pack will be in your background? 0. We have 0 power pack. But you know what? If someone would like to gift me a power pack poster, I will put it up right there in that space. What's the relationship between Doctor Doom and Magneto? Tense. They don't seem to get along. They work together every now and then when they want to do like all the big villains have a plan together. But I wouldn't say they're buddies. They are both Holocaust victims now, I think. Actually, Doom might be like the child of Holocaust victims, but they do have that in common. Like, he's Jewish and Doom's Romani, and so they have some common ground. Ever thought of reacting to the DCAU? I watched it all, and I didn't think about reacting. I watched it all a few years ago. I did really like it, though. Is Leech in Power Pack? Not technically. I don't think he ever really joins the Power Pack, but I also don't have any Leech stuff. That's my only Gambit thing. Like, I need to get more stuff. Yeah. Leech, hold on. If Leech was going to be anywhere, he'd be in, can you see this? Yeah, he'd be in here. This gets us Gambit, Nightcrawler, Rogue, Phoenix, Cable, Jean, Cyclops, Xavier, Magneto, Jean and Storm, Beast, Jubilee, Beast again. This might be the most Beast representation I'm going to have in this whole thing. Forge, Bishop, Sunspot, Magneto, Morph, Deathbird, Storm, Jubilee, Sinister, Mojo, Matty Pryor, Rogue, a Sentinel, Bastion, Gambit and Wolverine, and I think that's Emma Frost. So, nope, no Leech. So sad. Ugh. Leech is the Power Pack's green ugly friend they completely hate but also kind of like sometimes. Yes. People are so mean to Leech in Power Pack comics, and they need to be nicer. No, you haven't. Again, the DCAU is the universe from Batman animated series that ends with Justice League Unlimited. You were thinking of the DCAMU. Well, in my defense, that's a stupid distinction. That's a dumb uh, correction to have to make. You should get an Evolution Avalanche poster, man. I have Toad and I have X-23, and that's gonna be enough. What made you have Wednesday and Damien like each other in the series you made? Don't hate or anything, just curious. I just thought they would get along. That series was very much in a time where I was a little hyper fixated on the Addams family, and I liked Batman, and I was like, what would they be like if they were hanging out? And I think Wednesday and Damien would have a relationship. And so, did I invent that? I definitely I didn't take it from anything to my knowledge, but I don't know if it's all me or if it was already popular. I love the Power Pack being jerks to everyone. They're truly just a Fantastic Four, but if they were all children. For sure. And they're fun. I like the Power Pack. Oh yes, Magneto and Doctor Doom don't fuck with the Red Skull. Making the Red Skull like a Nazi is truly, it has eradicated the chance for these people to work together. Magneto hates that man. That's the series compilation that got me onto the YouTube channel. It's, to this day, my most watched video, I think. Every single week, if you all don't know, they give me like a YouTube reacts, like a YouTube Wrapped for the week as a creator that tells me like what are my most popular videos, like who was commenting on what or whatever. And until, I want to say October, consistently, every week, Adams was the most popular video. Damien and Raven in the DC AMU feels a lot like Damien and Wednesday here. Yes. But in my defense, I think I watched the AMU after. Cool. I like that Jason and Pugsley got along very well. Considering Jason my favorite Robin and Pugsley my favorite Adams member. Well, there you go. Only thing to say about Red Skull is that not even the Joker likes him. Yeah, because he's a Nazi. Like, there's a thing in literature, and especially comics, where it's like you can have fictional evil, but then you have like the real evil, and the real thing always just hits harder, even if the fictional evil is like worse, you know? Like, even it's why all of the villains can fuck with New York any day of the week, but then when 9/11 happened, they were all like, whoa, that's actually terrible, because it happened. Like, people actually died, and that means more in the brain. It's also why like Kitty being like, oh, saying mutie is just as bad as me calling you the N-word, and then just saying the word is remembered so badly. Because in universe, she's kind of got a point, but like, that's a real word. And it means a real thing. And it just always hits harder. And so, like, yeah, Red Skull being a Nazi kind of just default makes him the most evil person, even when Joker is like, ostensibly worse. Like, he probably is a worse person. But he's not real, and Nazis are. And so, everyone's going to hate the Red Skull. To be fair, Red Skull kind of went from Nazi in his first appearance to not one to one again. Yes, they've been very... There was a time when Hydra was just kind of supposed to be anti-SHIELD, and now it's back to being firmly Nazi. And it is an issue. Like, genuinely, it hurts every time any character engages with Hydra because of this. Like, Kingpin worked for Hydra, and it kind of fucked him over for years because he became a Nazi. It's hard to get around. And that's why blaming villains for real life stuff can be either great for being hatred, but also cause issues when trying to redeem them. Yes, I think, yeah. The issue is, like, in a comic, you always want your characters to be at some level of, like, sympathetic, just so that it's interesting to read about them, and it's hard to do that with real life evil. It's funny that Joker canonically is scared of the IRS. I mean, that simple fact is why I'm here today. That one line changed my entire life. So, big shout out to Batman the Animated Series for that. Despite the Fox movie's flaws, X-Men First Class being set during the Cuban Missile Crisis just hit so much harder when Thanos trying to wipe out half of humanity. Yeah, I mean, the X-Men have a lot of ties to real-life stuff, and it does make them feel more lived in. It does make the timelines very wonky, but like Magneto in the Holocaust, Forge in Vietnam, even Storm in like the Suez Missile Crisis, Karma coming over in the boats, like it feels real, and it makes the oppression feel more real because it's real oppression. Not the Vietnam War. I mean, yes, the Vietnam War, but not to the Americans. You know what I'm trying to say. Red Skull and Deathstroke are kind of in the same vein because that one character part about them. Yes. Well, Deathstroke got fucked by a completely different thing. Like, Deathstroke is one of those where it's like, sometimes a character does something so fucked up that you can't walk it back. And it is similar because it's like a real kind of crime that you can do. But yeah, we don't... Deathstroke is hard to ever... Even Dr. Light. Like, I was surprised to see Dr. Light in Teen Titans. And apparently it's because the thing he does comes after this show. But, like... Yeah, once you get to sex crimes, you also sort of become a person that you can't really fuck with in comics anymore. I mean, Ant-Man got ruined by someone misunderstanding a comic panel. Yep. That, I mean... Yes, and that is a shame if that's why that panel existed, but it is, I like that comics followed through so hard. Like, they're, like, divorced and stuff now, which is good. How long does it take for the tying real stuff to characters to be okay? Nobody is mad at Vandal Savage being Genghis Khan, for example. I think because Genghis Khan is, far enough removed that he also feels mythological. He's not, but it's kind of like Blackbeard, you know? It's like, well... That was a real guy, but it's also, like, not a real guy. It's like, Blackbeard can show up in Peter Pan, and you're like, okay, sure. Genghis Khan is fucking around in Bill and Ted with Napoleon at a mall, and it's like, all right, why not? So I think, yes, if you're historical figures far enough removed, and far enough removed is, like, 100 years. Like, Hitler. You can't be Hitler. If you say that you're Hitler, that's a bigger issue, because, again, you have Nazis. But before that, honestly, it's all open game. They like to make a lot of people Abraham Lincoln. He's not evil, but, like, people can get behind on that one. A lot of comic characters want to be Abraham Lincoln. A lot of comic characters are also, like, the reason JFK got shot. And that's post-Hitler, but you know what I'm trying to say. This conversation reminded me that people still try to tell me that Iceman isn't gay because of the dead girls, because he dated girls, when that happens a lot with gay people before coming out of the closet. Yeah. I mean, I think any argument that Iceman isn't gay is stupid. Like, Iceman has been gay for at least minimum 30 years. The man almost comes out in the 90s. Do you have donated chats thing turned off? I think so. So the issue for me is that I'm technologically challenged, and I can't even figure out how to monetize these goddamn videos or lives in OBS. And if I try to run it in both YouTube and OBS, it freaks out. It's like, you're doing it wrong, and yells at me. And so I like the interface of OBS more, and I'm sure there's a simple explanation. But anyway, I don't know how to turn those chats on, is my big point here. So they are turned off. Is any comic book character the reason Archduke Ferdinand got shot? Probably. I'm sure somebody out there has been said to be the one who killed Archduke Ferdinand. I off the top of my head, I can't tell you. Deathstroke is interesting because no one cared about him being a predator for decades, and he got pushed as a badass, but now we can't escape what he did to Tara. Yes. I mean, like, it's hard to get past sex crime. And, like, the issue is nobody cared about Deathstroke. And then he became more popular, and then people discovered the sex crime thing, and then that is fucked him over. So we're all tied for number one commenter. What? No. Tire 666 Thor is the number one commenter. Gotta get on his level. Gotta get on his ability. You think Lady Loki and Rivals means we might get stuff like Ultimate Jessica Drew as Peter? Ultimate Jessica Drew as Peter? I don't know. I do think we'll get a Miles Morales. I think that's what Lady Loki... Like, that's the next obvious one. I think Miles Morales and Beta Ray Bill are straight layups from here. Outside of that, I don't know how many other different character reskits we might get. We might get, like, Red Hulk as Hulk. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't just do that already. It'd be nice if they got a new voice actor for it. Who else is, like, essentially the same character? There's the other Thor. The third Thor. What is his, like, his name is, like, Masterson or something. Who's just, like, a real guy, has an axe. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe we'll get him. Some of the other Captain Americas might be fun. But Falcon will get his own character. Bucky's already his own character. Actually, it's kind of crazy to me Falcon's not in the game. Huh. You want to get real weird with it. I don't think they'd ever do this because it would be too much merging of the different brands. But you could make Falcon and Angel the same character and swap between them. Oh, Danny Rand. Yeah, I think we'll get Danny Rand for Iron Fist. That's a good shout. Frog Thor, I don't think we'll get just because the models would be insane. Like that, like, I know Lady Loki is a different setup than Loki, but to be a Vanguard Frog would be too hard to make, I think. What game are we talking about? Marvel Rivals. Where is Falcon? I think there are characters that they have held out to either A, drag in more attention. Like, the thing is that every time they drop a character, they want people to come back to the game, you know? That's like their big way to stop people from leaving. And that's why you like hold Deadpool until now. So like Gambit and Rogue, big surge. Everyone wants to play Gambit and Rogue. You hold on to Deadpool, and then Deadpool, it gets everyone to come back again. And like that's just how you have to do it. And so you have to take some characters that are like obvious ones and throw them in downtime. I think that's why Daredevil took a while to get in, despite being like one of the more obvious people to include. I think it's why Silver Surfer is going to come in eventually. Ghost Rider, I think, will come in eventually. And Falcon, I think, is another one. They're probably holding out, maybe even for synergy with like a Doomsday or something. They have body rigs for women, so Lady Loki's not that much of a stretch for the game engine. That's what I'm saying. Like they have Lady Loki, they can do, especially as a support. Frog Thor would require a lot more work from the ground up. I am also not technologically inclined, so I don't understand what's going on half the time on YouTube. I don't know what the hell's going on YouTube, man. I'm just trying my best. I'm hoping the Ethernet is helping. No one said that we're buffering now, and that's very good. They've teased the female Iron Fist from Avengers 1 million BC in Kunlun map. That would be crazy. I'd be down. Shuri, Black Panther, I think is another one that we might see if this style of skin keeps going. They're holding on the Blob and Toad for people that know ball. Absolutely. The Blob, like, this is the thing. Maybe you could do it with Hulk or someone like or maybe the Thing. You need to take one of the characters whose whole thing is just being strong and just make them all of them. Like, take the Thing and then make the Thing also the Blob, make him also Colossus, make him also Juggernaut. His moves are what? Like punch and run. Yeah, they could all do that. Maybe the Blob can't run, but you have to extend your imagination. Because so many people want like a Colossus in the game. And I'm like, he's not going to be able to do anything. He doesn't have other powers. It's just, he's metal. That's it. He's going to punch. And it's fun to read about a guy punching. It's not as fun to play as a guy punching. Like, at least the Thing is like, actually, to be fair, that's why I say you do it with the Thing. Hulk, they gave like the gamma shields and shit. I don't know what you could do with Colossus. It's not even like he's a tech guy, which is like what the metal would like usually. Like Hulk, there's a visual imagery with the gamma that you can like extend. He's just metal. What the fuck do you want him to do in the game? Juggernaut too. Juggernaut has got one move. He runs at shit. He's unstoppable. Other than that, he's punching people. Like that's it. Everyone's like, oh, put Juggernaut in the game. Can't wait till we have Juggernaut. You want to run at people? Exclusively? I don't get it. Gambit can't heal in the comics. They can give him like steel shields. Gambit can't heal in the comics, but he does chuck things. And you can make anyone who chucks things a healer because you just change what happens when he chucks things. You know? Like there's nothing else about Colossus. Now what they could do is, yes, they would change it to give him like metal shields or whatever. I think it's worse because he doesn't generate something. Like Magneto, sure, he makes metal shit. You can have him do whatever you want him to do with his metal shit. Colossus doesn't make things. Is he gonna rip it off his body? That's not even how that organic steel works. He's just got metal skin. That is his whole bit. Give Hulk a Juggernaut skin. I think you gotta give the Thing a Juggernaut skin. Like, cause Thing's got the run move. He does the one bit. He's gotta run. Give Juggernaut Crimson Bands to hold characters in place while he charges at them. Sure. Juggernaut with the Crimson Bands would be fun. Give Luke Cage a gun. Why not? Would Jin end up being a Hulk skin, or do you think they'd add her as her own character? At this, if Lady Loki goes well, She-Hulk might be a Hulk skin. And that's why everybody's better than Colossus. Facts. Angel, even. Like, you guys know my feelings towards Angel. But Archangel, specifically, you could work into this game. He could fly, he could shoot his wings at you. And you can mess with the shooting of the wings in any way you want. It could be a duelist, it could be a vanguard, and somehow it shields people to, like, have the metal wings in front of them. Or it could be healing, and for some reason, the knife wings heal you. That is workable. Colossus doesn't have something like that. But that's why I kind of think, again, Angel and Falcon, same guy, same character mold. I could see Magneto and Colossus getting a team up where Eric just picks him up and shoots him at enemies. That would be fun. I think much more likely, if they ever do put Colossus in this game, there'll be a team up for the fastball special. There is already, I think. Like, I forget, is it Hulk that does it with Wolverine? But they would definitely do it with Colossus. I can see Archangel basically being Angela. That is very fair. Was with the shield and everything, could be the wings. Yeah, flying tank. I could see Angel being flying tank. Archangel being flying tank. That could make I could see that. Yeah, games like Rivals rely almost exclusively on cool powers, not cool characters. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess. Is like, you gotta have a distinct power to get into Rivals at this point. Iceman is another one I think is a very obvious, they're holding on to him because he's such a layup of a character, and it is like a unique flavor. So I think Iceman is definitely coming in with his own shit. Cyclops, I think, can come in with his own shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Cyclops is a strategist as well. Beast, harder. Genuinely harder. Make him a Wolverine skin, you know? I need Sticky Goop Boy in Rivals. Paste Pop Pete should come to Rivals. He should. Make Hitmonkey a Punisher skin. You know, there's options here. She-Thing skin over the Thing to follow up Lady Loki would also be fun. You just change the head mold. All right. Now, I do have to leave because we've been doing this for an hour officially, and it is 1 p.m., and I'm going to lose the sun soon. I've been trying to make this wall since Christmas Day, and that's not a joke. I need to put it up. Adios, my friends. This has been lovely. I hope you had a wonderful time.